Hi there, and welcome to Scout the Gameweek. Scout the Gameweek is Fantasy Football Scout's weekly podcast brought to you by the Scout Network. In each episode, we'll look back at the game week we have just played to assess what we can learn in the next round of fixtures. I'm your host, Ryan from Football Chatbox. Let's scout the game week. The final game week of the season, and I'm joined by Peterson from the FPL Side Net Podcast, who maintains his perfect record of appearing on Scout the Game Week ever since its inception with Sam as the co-host. Pete, delighted to have you on. I've had you on my channel for quite a number of times this season, but I completely forgot about Scout the Game Week. But you are here in the last week. Somehow you keep your perfect streak. How are you doing? And how's the season How is the season going so far as well?
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks a lot for having me. I think I'm due a testimonial now that I've had so many appearances. So nice to keep that streak going. But
We'll get a match ball at first.
yeah, get everyone to sign it. But no, pleasure to be joining you. I really love the Scout the Game Week series, like ever since its inception, because you get to hear perspectives from other people that might not be getting like as much attention, or they don't do as much content creation as some of the other bigger names or channels. So it's always really good to get those type of things and to be on again, join you. You've done a stellar job this season, as you did last season as well. So
Thank you.
but yeah, as far as the season goes, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster. I haven't been as I'm probably not sitting where I thought I'd be.
Yep.
Considering my past seasons, but I've found a lot of enjoyment in FPL, especially probably the second half of the season, and just sort of reevaluating how I interact with the game. So I'm just basically focusing on mini leagues and making sure my friends don't beat me, and I've actually had a lot of fun doing that. So
The Australian Elite League, trying to survive in that.
yeah, that was one of my main goals, to make sure I didn't get relegated from the Australian Elite League. I think I've got like an 80-point buffer, so I'm pretty sure I'm safe.
Yeah, I think I was looking at that as well, and I think I have right now. Let me just check. I think I've got about a 30 point buffer, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be fine. I think I should be fine as long as I do like. We'll come to captaincy. That might kind of swing things. But even then, even if the others go with like a template captain, I think I should be fine. But we'll see. We'll see. Obviously, a lot riding in terms of like the upcoming games. We're recording this for anyone who's listening and watching this back as well on YouTube. We're recording this before the Chelsea, Newcastle United games. So obviously, whatever happens in that, we won't know. Any injuries happen that affect what we have already said, please keep in note as well with regards to all of that. But yeah, so what's the aim going into the final game week?
Aim going into the final game week. So I've got a 100-point buffer over my best friend in our mini league, and that has been my sole target, just to make sure he does not beat me, because I think the banter would be relentless.
Yep.
And like I said, I'm pretty sure I'm safe from relegation in the Aussie Elite League. So yeah, I'm on the verge of cracking the top 100K. I'm 103,000 at the moment, so maybe just crack 100K.
Yep, fair enough.
Yeah. What about yourself?
I have given up all hopes, and the only hope
we have no hope.
The only hope left is to avoid relegation from the Aussie Elite. Interestingly, there is one. I'm in a head-to-head league as well. And top 4 get like prize money.
Ooh. Okay.
So I'm currently, where am I? This is live check-in of my table. As things stand, I am currently 7th, but there are the 2 guys above me. 3 guys above me. They're only 2 points difference.
Oh yeah.
And I'm playing one of the guys who are above me to try and get into that top 4 spot. He's currently leading because I took a hit, so he's on 105 points. I'm on 102. We'll see what happens in the final game. And the other 2 guys above as well are currently losing their games. So if I win, and they lose, I go 4th place, and then it's into the final game week. If I can maintain that top 4 spot, I get something. That's the only silver lining out of all of this.
You might be like Aston Villa, having the champagne showers and big celebrations, getting 4th.
Exactly, that's basically me. uh, but apart from that, oh man, I can't wait for the season to end. Like I feel like this season has been. I don't even know what to say. Sometimes you get bad luck and you get your share of good luck as well. I just had like continuous like bad luck. Every time I try to go against the template, it's like a baseball bat. Just the template just picks up a baseball bat, and just swings right into my face. I'm like bam, and I've just been smashed every single week. Like going against the template. Chips. At this moment, I think I've failed every single chip. I don't know how. I failed everything. Like we don't speak about free hit 29. I think both of us
Yeah.
suffered that, so we don't speak about it here. Triple captaincy was hard initially. I think when everyone put it on, and we got like 13.
Got an A return, didn't
Yeah,
we?
exactly.
We got a goal.
Yeah, so that was also a failure. I'm on a bench boost right now with Bruno Fernandes and Callum Wilson, who have not played. So I'm like, what to do, man? It's been painful. And then obviously both wildcards, when you go against the template, you get smashed. And I got smashed
Yeah.
because I refused to go for Jackson. Maybe I should have gone for Jackson.
That's my regret too. The game week 35 wildcard. I remember we were talking about it in depth.
Yeah.
Heading into it, you asked me like about Jackson, and
Yes.
I think because I watch Jackson and Chelsea so closely every week, I've just been tortured by his misses, and I was just like, no, you have to avoid him. And yeah, here we are.
Yeah, exactly. Because I remember telling, like, I was like, my regret in the previous double game weeks was not loading up on them. And because of that, I just couldn't maximize on them. And I was like, okay. And then I had Jackson in the initial draft, and he was like, oh no, don't go Jackson. And then everyone on the deadline stream as well, every single Chelsea fan who follows me on my deadline stream, don't go Jackson, you're gonna regret it.
Yeah.
Bam, he smashes like 8 points in 35. I'm like, okay, 8 points can't be too bad. 36 comes, gets smashed with Jackson, 16-pointer. And I did captain Haaland as well, so it made matters worse.
Oh no.
So it's been a nightmare. When you go against the template, you get smashed. So hopefully next season there's some new changes to FPL where I guess the template isn't as strong. Hopefully.
It's really hard. But also like this season, we've seen just an unprecedented amount of injuries. I can't remember an FPL season where basically weekly free transfers were just being used just to get transfers. I remember having Darwin and wanting to get rid of him for so long, and I couldn't because I had one injury after another, most of the time in defense. And I literally bounced between 4 different Aston Villa defenders over a space of a few weeks, from like Matty Cash to Pau Torres, who got injured, to Konsa, who got injured, to Moreno. And it's just one of those seasons.
Exactly. Like even like I bought Bruno Fernandes. I was like, this man doesn't get injured. He's never gotten injured in his entire career, and now we've
until we get him in our 35
I know, exactly. I'm like, oh my god, what have I done? FPL, man, the good and the bad.
We love it. We complain, but we love it. That's why we keep coming back. It's fun.
I'll be playing next season as well. Don't worry. To add on to this, I will be playing Euro Fantasy as well. So I don't mind. But anyways, so now GameWeek 38, I was thinking, all right, let's probably not write any questions, because GameWeek 38, I look at it and I go, it's just a vibe week.
Yeah.
You pick who you like as a vibe pick.
Choose your narrative.
Exactly. Choose your narrative. And I mean, if it backfires, it's not like another game week is going to be there for it to like hurt you. So if you pick the wrong pick, oh well, you picked the wrong pick.
Yeah.
It is what it is. If you pick the correct pick, then you obviously go up the ranks as well. So that's what we're here to discuss in terms of like the narrative, choosing our own narratives, and what vibe picks can we kind of select. So how do you want to do this? You want to talk about fixture by fixture, or should we just like list from like position wise some vibe?
Maybe we start from, what do you reckon? We start at the top.
Okay.
Because we're heading into the final round. I mean, after this morning's results where City beat Spurs 2-0, which was personally great as a Chelsea fan, because not only did Spurs lose a game, but Arsenal have now really been put on the back foot. So that was just great to watch as a neutral. But technically, the title race is still on heading into the final day. So we've got Arsenal against Everton now. Everton are completely safe.
Yes.
But Arsenal have to go for it. And it still feels like a really good game from an FPL perspective, where, a lot of managers out there, like both of us, like Like I'm probably going to be tripled up
Mm.
on Arsenal in 38, and it feels safe. And same with City. I'm going to be tripled up on City, and they still have to win the game. So I feel as far as rotations go, especially those two sides that impact our FPL squad so much, it's not really going to be a factor heading into this game week like it was last season. Like we had
Yep.
Haaland rested for the final game last season and, created a lot of chaos
Mm.
heading into the deadline.
How do you approach it? Okay, I guess we'll start with City. My take on it now, obviously, we're not expecting. I don't know. Are we expecting West Ham to pull out a miracle? Very unlikely. Because David Moyes himself has been like, it's hard to beat the under 14s.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to beat their main team. So when I feel like Moyes is kind of checked out as well. It's like he's not going to
Yeah.
be there next season. He doesn't really care what happens.
Yeah.
And I guess from a West Ham point of view, the only thing they could do is they could probably jump over United if they beat City and United lose all their other games, which is possible. Gets probably a couple extra million in the transfer kitty for next season as well. But nothing else, right? They can't qualify for Europe or anything. There's nothing really to gain from going up as well, apart from that few extra millions. City, on the other hand, I guess the only thing I would have loved a draw this week from the Spurs game, just because from an FPL point of view, it meant that City would have to go for it in terms of goals.
Yeah.
Now they
It would have
could,
been interesting.
yeah. Now they're kind of like, I feel like they're kind of safe. So I feel like if they do go up like 2-0, 3-0 even in the first half an hour, or in the first half, I feel like they might start subbing players out in the second half. Is what
Yeah.
I'm thinking potentially, because they want to save their players for the FA Cup final as well. So
True.
that is what I'm a bit worried now with like trying to captain a City player. But at the same time, I think that now that they've kind of won, it enables you to be able to go differential captain as well, I feel like.
Okay. Yeah, there's that possibility, but I was having a look at West Ham's
Oh, they're horrible.
recent form.
Yeah.
And yeah, their last two away games, they've conceded 5 goals in
Yep.
both games against Chelsea and Crystal Palace. And that was before Moyes announced he was leaving when they were actually playing for something. So a West Ham team that's sort of mentally checked out against a City team that's just going to be like rubber stamping a premiership.
Then do you captain maybe not Haaland, but someone else from City?
Yeah, you could. I think if you're going to look at a differential captain
Yeah.
other than Haaland, because I still think it could be a great game for Haaland. We saw
Yeah,
this
fair enough.
morning, like
2 goals.
because of the penalties, like it's quite easy for him to always get double
Yep.
returns,
Yep.
and it could be a similar situation on the weekend. But I think a Phil Foden
Yes.
captaincy could be a really good option too
Yep.
if you're willing to take on the Haaland. So trying to chase in game week 38 is always tough because you need not only do you need your differential
Yeah.
captaincy to pay off, but you need the sway of the game to go your
Yeah.
favor as well.
Yeah. I think that's where I would like have a look at like what happens the last couple games between like the Chelsea game and the United Newcastle, like because a lot of us have like triple Chelsea,
Yeah.
at least double to triple Newcastle, double United at least. So there's a lot more players to play. And that's where I would go, okay, see what happens. Then have a look in terms of mini league. Can I still avoid relegation by going differential captain in the Australian
True.
elite? If I can, I would probably then risk playing a differential captain. And I guess it also depends on like people like looking to try and like, let's say you're looking to get into top 100k. You're very close to the top 100k. So you don't necessarily have to go differential captain. But let's say someone who's like 10 points, maybe 15 points off top 100k, maybe they could look to potentially like go differential. Then the same thing could apply, I guess, even to top 10k.
Yeah.
Anyone who's like, let's say trying to hit into the top 1k or like top 5k, then they kind of have a decision to make whether they want to go differential or not. Because I feel like if you're in like 5k to 10k, you could easily fall off as well if the captaincy doesn't go correctly.
And I remember one of the Australian managers, Brett, who finished third, I think 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
I remember him talking about him looking at the teams that were sort of around him, that top 10, when he was pushing for first, and looking at who had who. And his decision was, I think, getting in, Martin Ødegaard instead of because everyone else had like Saka,
Yeah.
and I think maybe Smith Rowe might have been that season, and so his decision was to get Ødegaard in, and that actually helped him push up
Yes.
to third because he sort of went differential in that way. So you're
Yep.
still covering yourself
Mm.
because you have the asset from the team, but it's just getting the different asset, and
Yep.
sometimes it's a difference between 9 points and 6 points
Yeah.
that
Exactly.
can make quite a big difference. And also like avoiding hits
Mm.
heading into game week 38. So there might be a lot of managers coming out of game week 37 who've used free hits
Yes.
and now suddenly finding themselves, they might not have Haaland. They might not have the likes of Vardiol,
Yeah.
who's been absolutely on fire, and Arsenal players as well. So maybe there might be a few free sort of hits flying
Yep.
around, and that's going to help you with sort of getting a bit of a rank bump as well.
Yeah, true. That's also true because hits in the final game week they don't necessarily pay off. They
Yeah,
sometimes do.
it's
There are
tough.
some few cases where it can pay off.
Yeah,
Obviously, if you have like a squad full of injuries, then it's going to pay off because no player is better than having you might as well have a player than have no player at all.
yeah.
Um, but in general, it's very hard for a hit to pay off in the final game week.
Unless maybe you're doing it for someone that you're definitely going to captain.
Yeah, then
So
maybe
yeah,
potentially.
like a lot of us, maybe our budgets are a bit stretched, and maybe there's that sentimental look towards Salah. Like we
Yeah,
don't know if it's Salah's last game, and we've all got that emotional attachment because he's been so prevalent in FPL for us. Yeah, if you're willing to take that hit and give him the captaincy, I can see that risk, being quite rewarding. But
yep,
if it's just a straight up taking a points hit for a defender, like just
yeah,
don't
no,
bother.
no, just purely attackers and attackers
Yeah.
as well, like games that you think that are high upside.
Mm.
Yep,
Which I think there's quite a few this game
yep,
week.
yep,
So, like talking about, the narratives that we're creating. So we got like City against West Ham, Arsenal against Everton. Great games on paper from an attacking perspective. Liverpool Wolves
yes,
is really good too. So like Wolves, they've been great, but I think
yeah.
they've
Check.
checked out.
Yeah, they're on the beach.
And this has all been building up towards Klopp's final game at Anfield. So the emotion is just going to be like sky high for
Yep.
this game, and they'll be wanting to put on a show.
Yeah, I mean they renamed Optasport in Australia to Clubtasport. But exactly, I mean they definitely want to put on a show. But just sticking to the City Arsenal. Now City, I guess a lot of us have triple City potentially. It's the Arsenal assets that where people are looking for that one Arsenal attacker to try and get in. Who would you go for? You had to
Mm,
pick.
yeah, I mean we've seen Saka so good
Yeah,
this whole season. I think he's already past the 200 point mark,
yeah,
which is
most likely.
quite an achievement. He always has the penalties up his sleeve too, which is always when I'm trying to decide between two players,
Yep.
that's usually the deciding factor. But the way Kai Havertz has been playing and his positioning, like he's so close to goals the whole time. Everything seems to be going through him. His tendency to get, double attacking
Mm.
returns in games has been quite easy,
Yep.
sort of the last 10 game weeks. I'm that's probably the transfer I'll be making, and
Yep.
it's probably going to be Kai Havertz.
Fair enough. Because
Yeah,
it probably makes sense because like you said, he's playing that out of position number 9 striker
yeah,
spot. Probably going to get repositioned next season to a forward
yeah,
in FPL. And even though Saka has the pens, like Kai is just ticking over with points.
yeah,
Because we saw the United game, right? Kai got an assist, whereas Saka just didn't get anything, which is
yeah.
not involved per se. But because Havertz is more central, he gets more involved in the game and all. So Havertz probably first option. I guess would you go Saka second or would you put Trossard?
Look, I definitely put Saka. I mean, it's a toss of the coin between
Those two.
Saka and Havertz.
Okay.
There'll be a lot of managers out there that still have Saka, and that's like an amazing pick to
Yep.
have. I really like Leandro Trossard, but he sort of has that 63,
Yeah.
65
Minutes.
minute
Yep.
ceiling. And you wonder if word filters through to the Emirates that, Man City's up 4-0.
Yeah, and then
And
you need to go for it.
well, it's not necessarily
Oh,
about having
but
to
it's
go
all
for
over.
it. That
Sorry.
it's
Yeah.
all over.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we could see Trossard come off early
Yeah.
for Gabriel Jesus or Martinelli.
Yeah.
And, I think that's the risk heading into game week 38,
Yep.
that's what could happen.
Yeah, fair enough. That makes sense because then Arsenal will be like, yeah, it is what it is. Now
Yeah.
might as well just get people who like haven't played that much, give them like a few
Yeah.
minutes, get them like
Like a Smith Rowe gets
yeah,
on for like a few minutes and
yep,
yeah.
yep. Fair points, fair points. I think that could actually happen.
But
To be honest.
Trossard's been fantastic.
Yeah.
Like he's nailing down that starting spot. He's definitely the starter. But yeah, it gets to like the 60-minute mark and you're just waiting for his number to come up.
Yeah, true. But do we think Everton are going to get like, let's say it doesn't happen, like let's say it's 0-0 at City versus West Ham. Do we think Everton are actually going to get smashed? Or like
Well,
0-0 and Everton, sorry, West Ham versus City is like at like half time is still 0-0. Do we still think like, 'cause Everton are still pretty good defensively?
you're still pretty good defensively, but that's at home. This
Yeah,
is
true.
away. They had their final game
Yep.
at Goodison, and got up for that. Another clean sheet. I think that was 5 in a row.
Yeah.
Um, but they don't really offer much from an attacking perspective.
Mm.
So it's going to be a really tough task for them. Arsenal's going to dominate on
Mm.
the ball, so they're definitely going to win that percentage battle there. But I mean, we saw something similar with Everton a few years ago when Richarlison helped keep them up, and then they went into the final game, and I think it was against Arsenal,
Mm.
and they were done. They mentally checked out. They got smashed in the
Yep.
last game. They didn't care because they just avoided
Yeah.
relegation. So look, they may not get smashed, but I don't see them
Yeah,
winning or
true.
getting a point.
No, 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 no. Yeah, fair enough. Cool. All right, so that's Arsenal and City kind of covered. Liverpool, you touched on it. Obviously, Salah is someone that would be interesting to try and get. Unfortunately, like even the last game, he didn't really get anything. Like
Yeah,
hardly involved. Um, doesn't seem to be the same Salah as like pre-AFCON, post-AFCON and pre-AFCON. Like he's just again similar to the last time he went for AFCON. Not the
yeah,
same Salah, I feel like. Uh, but Liverpool as a team, we expect goals in this game, like you said, because Klopp's last game. I just wish there was Jota for this game
yeah. Same,
because
100%.
he's the player that I would have wanted. Just straight transfer. I would have even got Jota over Havertz, to be
Yeah,
honest. Just because
especially against his former side.
exactly right, and he's so explosive. We know what he's capable of. So that's the one thing. I don't know. Maybe we'll get press conference news. We'll get a leak if he's fit, maybe, but very unlikely. But yeah, one player that I would have loved to have. Salah is a budget issue. I feel like the only way
Yeah,
you're kind of getting it is you're sacrificing Son, who has Sheffield United, even though Son hasn't been on top form, and then you have Haaland, who is playing West Ham. So trying to fit Salah in is probably not easy.
yeah, it's a tough one. Yeah, really tough to try and find that budget. And then on top of that, you're probably taking a hit as well.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you're losing a great player with a good fixture and yeah, taking a points hit. It feels like you're on the back foot before, the
Before,
ball's even been kicked.
yeah, fair enough. So who else would you go to from Liverpool?
Well, we've seen Cody Gakpo
Mm,
really almost nail down that number 9 spot. I
yep,
think Klopp in these final few weeks has just realized, look, I don't have to tolerate Darwin next season, so I'm just gonna push him to the side. He's
yep,
cost me a premiership. He could sulk on the sidelines and yeah, he's done like a really good job. So 2 goals, 2 assists from
yes,
his last 4
yep.
starts. And he's doing the things that Darwin just hasn't been able to do, convert those chances. Like we've seen Darwin needs so many opportunities to put the
Mm,
ball in the net, whereas Gakpo, he only needs like 1 or 2.
yeah, I'm looking at his stats from the last game against Villa, 1.05 xG.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. So good player.
Yeah.
Uh, and for those who have now, like myself, I've got Isak and I've got Wilson, and I don't know if either will be available now.
Oh,
So I might need actually a forward player.
yeah.
And I have Bruno Fernandes as well. So I'll have to bench like either I don't know. I can't play a 3-5-1, right? It's not possible. So I kind of will be forced into maybe a forward spot transfer as well. So I don't know. So maybe Gakpo could be that forward spot that I probably go for if I want to. If assuming let's say both Isak and Wilson just not available.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I do like that pick because Yeah, he's looked really good. He's scoring goals,
Mm.
and yeah, I can't see Darwin getting the starting spot against Wolves. So yeah, and maybe someone else to consider is budget might be tight, but Harvey Elliott's
Mm.
been pretty good. So yeah, he's had 3 attacking returns in the last 2 game weeks. He started 4 out of the last 5 matches,
Yep.
and we even heard Klopp during the week talk about one of his regrets over the last few seasons
Not
has
playing him.
been not giving Elliott enough minutes
Yeah.
in that time. So yeah, I dare say he's probably going to start again against Wolves.
Yeah. Luis Diaz, not really.
I don't know. Diaz, I feel like the ceiling's really low for
Yeah.
Diaz, and yeah, quite sporadic with his returns. They're just, it's probably his biggest knock. He just hasn't been that consistent. Like we see it
Mm.
for a few periods during the season, but then he goes cold really quickly. I
He's
mean, it could be that party
yeah.
atmosphere on the weekend suits him, and he gets in on it. So yeah,
He's definitely no Sadio Mane. That's for
he's
sure.
no
Yeah.
Soviet, no.
Exactly. At least in past seasons you could go, okay, I can get Sadio Mane in for the final game. We can do something. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he loved the final game week
Indeed.
haul.
But here we are.
Harvey Elliott and Cody
I know,
Gakpo.
right? Yeah. This is where I go. Yeah, maybe I'll just get Havertz instead.
Yeah.
This is where I wanted a Jota. But anyways, that's the Liverpool. Um, let's head to your team, Chelsea.
Oh,
Play Bournemouth.
yeah.
I've said this a couple times before. I feel like Chelsea at home are a different beast when compared to Chelsea away, and I feel the stats also are there to prove it.
Yeah.
Now Palmer, ever since not Klopp, Pochettino came out and said, "We are not Palmer FC, we're Chelsea FC." I felt like Palmer has kind of felt a bit more pressure. I don't even know what, but he hasn't been performing as he was compared to
Yeah.
before that. But then again, home game. A lot to play for though, especially.
True. Yeah. Especially with depending on what happens with the Brighton game tomorrow. Like
Yes,
Chelsea could be heading into this game against Bournemouth where a win could actually see them clinch European football.
exactly.
Depending how the results
Newcastle
go.
game,
And
yeah, as well goes.
yeah.
Yep.
And we've seen this season when Palmer's playing the lower table teams
Mm.
at home, his tendency to get double attacking returns has actually been frightening. How
Yes.
often he has done it. Like he really puts teams to the sword. And considering I think he's the highest scoring FPL asset this season. And he basically didn't
Uh,
start the first 8 games.
yes, he is beating Watkins
Yeah.
by 4 points.
Yeah, and we'll also be finding out. So Saturday we find out the young player of the year
Yes,
and the player of the year.
he'll probably
So
win Young Player of the Year.
I think he will win young player of
Yeah,
the year. So probably heading into that game with a bit more bravado,
yeah,
walking out. Not that he needs it. He's very self
yeah,
assured
yeah,
about his position, but yeah, I think it could be a wide open game. We've
yeah.
seen Bournemouth just play really good football, but quite attacking.
Could he be a differential captain?
Yeah, definitely. We've seen this season, like
Yeah,
the points he gets at Stamford Bridge, especially with the penalties as well.
yeah.
Like Chelsea win a lot of penalties, and
Mm.
he puts them all away. But I I'm thinking because this game will be Thiago Silva's last one, so
Bullet header,
sad.
here he comes.
Sad, yeah, I'm sort of picturing a Cole Palmer corner and
Yeah,
Thiago Silva
bullet header.
scoring
Yep,
from the set
yep.
piece, or even this wild scenario where Chelsea do win a penalty, but the game's done, and maybe he offers it to Thiago Silva. But I think Silva's the type of player that would say,
Yeah,
"No,
probably not. Yeah,
just you take it, put
yeah,
the ball in the
yeah.
net."
True. I can see though Thiago Silva bullet header. Very
Yeah,
possible. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
He loves the set piece goal.
He does. Yeah,
Yeah,
he came close as well on the weekend against Forest. So
yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah.
going to be sad seeing him leave.
Kind
I'm
of.
not ready yet.
No, he's probably still your best defender in the club, to be
Oh
honest.
yeah,
If Rich James is fit, it's a different story. But Rich James is never fit, so
Although Reece Jones was amazing on the weekend.
yes. Man, I was so close to bringing. So I bought Cucurella in
Yeah,
this week for that hit. Instead, I was so close to bringing Rich James in. I was like, I have nothing to lose at this point. Let me just bring Rich. And then I was told by Chelsea fans, no, don't bring Rich Jensen. I was like, oh, god damn it. He comes and get 4 points and Kukural Lazarus 1 point.
The arrogance of Reece James just to shoot out a tweet that morning and say, see you all at 5:30 and then
Doesn't
come
start.
out on the pitch and
But
within
then,
2 minutes he's changed the game.
I know.
Just shows what we've really been missing this season. So yeah,
Well,
great to see him back.
if he's fit, I'll just fall into the trap next season again and just have him game week 1.
100%. We will be there. Game week 1, Reece James. And he'll be cheap.
Yes.
He's not going to get a price increase. So
No, if anything, he needs to fall in price. Fair enough. Yeah, so, but I wouldn't be recommending Reece James on the final day. To be honest, like we said at the start, Chelsea, I mean, defenders in general, we're probably not recommending because the upside isn't as high. And a lot of people already have their perfect defense for this week. You've got your Arsenal defense, you got your Spurs defense against Sheffield United. People have Guardiola as well in terms of City coverage. So people already had their defenses set for this week.
Yeah, there's the benching headaches are real this game week 38.
Yep. Okay. Anyone else from Chelsea?
Like we've seen, like Jackson, he's been fantastic. Like ever since that game week 34, 35, been really good. Madueke has been very impressive. Although he did get subbed out about, it was like just before the 60th minute on the weekend against Forest, but. Yeah, I think we'll have to wait and see what happens. It's a bit hard we still got the Brighton game tomorrow morning, but look, I think if you were going to go like really rogue with the captaincy, Cole Palmer, great choice. Especially everyone owns him anyway, so yeah, it's not too crazy to throw that idea out in the universe.
Yep, fair enough. Okay, another team with some upside. Crystal Palace. Playing Aston Villa. Palace on great form. Obviously, nothing to play for, I would say, but they're just on good form. And then, who knows how drunk Emi Martinez and co are at this point after celebrating with popping so many champagnes and whatnot. And they actually have now nothing to play for. They can't go higher, they can't go lower. They're just stuck there. So they actually have nothing to play for. So I don't even know what team like Unai Emery is going to put out, to be honest. So Palace, Olise, Eze, Mateta.
The
rollback game week 34.
the change in Crystal Palace under Glasner has been pretty remarkable, but I think that's also got a lot to do with Olise and Eze being on the pitch at the same time. And it's interesting to see the transition from Roy Hodgson football to Glasner football, where he's basically playing both of them as number 10s, like right up with Mateta. Whereas previously, like Roy Hodgson would play everyone. So it was like 4-4-2. It was everyone stick back. Mateta, you sort of stay on the halfway line, and there was such a distance. Whereas now they're all playing so close to each other. The wing backs are pushing up, getting all that width now, and it's working wonders. Lise's just been phenomenal. I mean, he's always had like a tremendous minutes to attacking return ratio. It's just been the paper mache hamstrings that he has. But no surprise to see he's the most popular transfer heading into this game week. And seeing the scenes from Aston Villa's Player of the Year awards where they got the live confirmation that they're in top 4, and it turned into like it looked like a Grand Prix podium where everyone was just spraying everyone with champagne. Like Emi Martinez is already a very loose individual. I can imagine him in goals with like sunglasses.
I don't know if he's
and a burrito.
I don't know if it's gonna be in goal. Maybe they'll put like Olsen or someone. Like, just go get a minute, Yeah,
Martinez might be on a beach somewhere. I think just throwing it in, just trying to put on the fake cough. I can't play. I'm not feeling well. And he's already in Argentina.
Fair enough. I'll tell you one thing. I'm only I have so this week's FPL challenge is like one player from each team. Olise is in there straight away.
First pick.
Yep, definitely from Palace. I actually don't mind. I'll be very tempted to go Olise even over Havertz potentially. I don't know. Depends on what leagues we get in terms of if we get Aston Villa leagues where Aston Villa just like full rotation. I'll be probably on that. I don't
Also,
know.
like Elise is also probably knocking on the door for the French national side ahead of
Yes.
the Euros.
Yep.
So he actually has something to play for. Whereas, yeah, if you're going to lean towards a Palace asset, if you're thinking Eze or Elise, yeah, I would like Elise just has that X factor.
Yeah.
Just so much,
I
so
just
much more fun to
Yeah,
watch.
exactly. I just enjoy watching him
Yeah,
in general. Yeah, and probably not only just the French team. He's probably also like knocking on the door for a lot of transfer moves as well in the
yeah.
summer potentially. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, probably love him as an option if anyone wants to start him or even pick him as a differential pick this week.
Mm.
Um, Now Newcastle, not from a differential point of view because a lot of us own Newcastle assets. Some of us own strikers who are unsure of
He
playing at this point.
may or may not play.
Exactly. Initially, I would have asked the question of like, Gordon, poor away record. Can you take him on by like not starting him and all? Is that a possibility? Because people might have bench in headaches. They'll be looking to like
Yeah,
bench one. Like, do you bench a Jackson against Bournemouth with Chelsea being really good attacking at home, or do you bench like an Isak or a Gordon away from home? Those kind of
yeah.
questions.
I must admit, my bus team has Gordon benched.
There you go.
Yeah, more so just because of that historical data we've had this season where
Yep.
he just hasn't been as good away. But, it's another situation where Gordon's, trying to prove his worth to get into that England squad for the Euros. But yeah, until we see the Newcastle lineup tomorrow morning, like we
Yep.
don't know about Isak and Wilson, it makes it a lot harder for Gordon to get those points because
Yep.
he doesn't have those options to work off, whereas it's looking like a Murphy or a Longstaff
Yeah. True.
compared to
True. True.
like an Isak or a Wilson.
Yep. Exactly. Fair enough. We'll have to wait and see, I guess. And if if there's no Isak and Wilson, I'm gonna be sweating heading into game week 38 because you can't trust Eddie Howe. Can't say
No,
whatever he says. Like
no,
even
even
the
with nothing to play
yeah,
for.
exactly.
And you know what's going to happen because then they're flying out to Australia like a couple of days after to
okay.
play in a postseason
Yeah.
friendly with Spurs.
Yep.
He'll probably still be coy about that, even though there's nothing like it's just literally a kickabout,
Exactly.
a payday kickabout.
Like we're not sure. We'll see whether he's
Yeah,
like
we'll
fit.
see.
Yeah. Oh my god, anyhow. Can't trust him. And you can't even trust Callum Wilson nowadays. He puts a tweet out saying he's looking for the last push. The only push is with his hamstrings, I think, at this point.
Oh my God. Yeah. The
Uh
poor physios, they must be sick of the sight of him
I know.
at
Exactly.
Newcastle.
Yeah. Okay. Any other differentials?
Oh,
Spurs, do we go I haven't gone triple Spurs attack yet. I still have that option of going for a third Spurs player and maybe a second Spurs attacker.
yeah.
Unfortunately, Richarlison was the player that we all kind of wanted and is no longer available. Can Brennan Johnson be that player?
Brendan Johnson can be that player. I don't know, it doesn't feel exciting. Like we've seen Sheffield United, for all their flaws, they've actually been scoring some goals of late. Now, I know they didn't do that away at Everton, but no one's scoring against Everton away. But yeah, like I'm not. This feels like the crazy game.
Yeah.
You know how there's always a crazy game week 38 that is like on the goal rush show. We just cross into it every 5 minutes. This feels like it could be that game because it could be like a 4-3.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
Johnson, it feels good, but I don't know. I just
can't trust Spurs.
I can't trust Spurs. Like we've even seen like even this morning's game, like Son, he was pretty. I got to the point where I was trying to wonder if I'd actually missed if Son had been
he wasn't
subbed
really
out
involved apart
until
from
he
that,
got that one-on-one chance. Like he was really quiet, and that's probably more down to City. But just
they were playing a different system as well. Like I was watching that game live and they were playing with both Brennan Johnson and Son wide, and neither of them got center. There was like they were playing like trying to get a false nine, but no set false nine as well. It was either Bentancur went forward or Papesa went forward or Madison went forward. Whoever was available to go forward kind of went forward. It was a very odd system as well. Where Spurs didn't really give up too many chances, but they didn't also score too many chances as well. I don't know if that was just purely for City as well as a system, or will they revert to a more like attacking style against Sheffield United? But yeah, again, they are like Aston Villa as well. Nothing too much to play for, but we know Ange. We saw from his press conference quotes, he kind of wants to win. Feels like
Yeah,
he's been shocked to the core of like going to a club where they're willing to lose.
he's been Spursified.
I
Poor
know.
Edge.
Yeah.
They've destroyed him. They've
Yeah.
destroyed our Edge. But I don't know this. I mean, the difference between the Villa situation and the Spurs situation is, yeah, both teams have nothing to play for. But Spurs are heading into this game where their season has just really fallen apart.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Personally, that doesn't feel like the mood and the vibes are
Yeah.
heading high.
Yeah.
Like this doesn't really feel like a game they probably want to take part in. They're probably just happy for the season to be over right now if they could.
Yeah. Fair
So
enough.
yeah, look, yeah, a Johnson move would be like the ultimate luxury move,
Mm,
but I don't think there's not many people out there with two free transfers
yeah. Not too many.
there.
Yeah.
I think, like you said, like the Arsenal choices, the City choices, the Crystal Palace
Mm,
choices, the Chelsea. I think
they're all
Spurs are
better.
like
Yeah.
much lower down that list.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair point. If Richarlison was that, different story. But
Yeah, different story.
yeah, but he's not there, so it's like a completely different. Like yeah. Not
Mm.
appealing as well. Spurs look to be like imploding within at this point.
Yeah, their season's been like Chelsea's, but just like flipped.
Yep,
Like they
exactly.
started really good and they faded, whereas
Yeah,
Chelsea's is like
but
started really bad,
yeah,
but it's finishing on a high. Yeah,
yeah. And that's where you kind of want to be, right? You want to finish the season on a high, but it's
yeah, I
like,
suppose so.
yeah,
It's the hope that kills you.
I know, true. Okay. Now before we wrap up, I don't think I can wrap up without mentioning Muniz and even Chris Wood, both having like pretty decent fixtures. And I was asked a question where would you start them if you had them this week? Even over like let's say Gordon, Isak, same thing.
I would start. I'd be more inclined to start Chris Wood.
Mm.
Now, I think he's had like an XG of 4 over his last few games, and he hasn't scored. And watching those games back, they're like instinct one touches, like in the 6 yard
Yep.
box, that just haven't gone in.
Yep.
It's sort of a bit of luck has left him
Yep.
of late, but he's getting in those positions. I know 1 year he did come back. He was off the bench against Chelsea, but I don't think he's fit enough to start. And considering Forest's financial issues, I think any chance they have of finishing a bit higher up the table,
Yeah.
actually can't even remember if they can move up any higher than where they are, but they'd probably want that opportunity. You know,
Yeah.
every position adds a few more millions into Marinakis'
Yeah.
back pocket.
True. 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 Uh. Okay. We'll end it with that. Captaincy.
Mm,
Where is the armband going?
yeah, I think considering Haaland got the double,
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the popular choice.
Mm.
You know, there'll be managers out there trying to hold like top spots in mini leagues, trying
Yeah.
to, hold positions in, really good rank tiers.
Yep.
That'll be the one.
Yep.
Like I mentioned before, if you're willing to take that on, I think like a Phil Foden could be like really interesting.
Mm.
I'd see a lot of goals in that game. Phil Foden's, I mean, he could be heading into that game on Sunday as the player of the year.
Yeah, that's possible. Very true.
And rightfully so if he's to win that award. So, and he's been phenomenal. Like his ability to get, hat tricks and
Yeah.
double-digit returns has been insane this season.
Even that first goal that City scored was because of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he won that 50-50 ball
Mm.
with Romero and just carried it. I mean,
Yeah.
he gets no FPL points for that other than maybe just some cheeky bonus
Yep.
in the background. But yeah, that was all because of him. But yeah, we've seen, and especially we don't know about KDB.
Yeah, because he had that knock.
Yeah, he did have a knock.
Yeah.
It looked like it affected him really badly
Yeah.
at the start, but
Yeah.
played on. But clearly, it was
Yeah.
enough to cause him some concern. But yeah, like no KDB actually is even better for
Yeah,
Foden.
and also we're forgetting Foden had Vicario had an amazing save at the first half from Foden
Yeah.
as well. So
Yeah.
could have been a different story for Phil Foden, to be honest.
Yeah, I like that if you're willing to take on the Nordic meat shield. I
Yeah.
do like Foden with the armband. And yeah, like you said, I think if you're gonna like a third option, yeah, Cole Palmer at
Mm.
home against Bournemouth. I think, yeah,
Yep.
the situation and the mood has really changed at Chelsea. Thiago Silva's last game, so they'll be wanting to get a win
Yep.
there. And yeah, he finds it quite easy to get goals and assists in games. But yeah, like it in seasons past,
Yeah.
like with Salah's form, he's always been a mainstay in our sides. Like you look at this fixture on paper, yeah, you give him the armband, but just trying to get to a Salah in our
Yeah. It's
side
not
like
easy.
that would be an insane differential,
It
like for
would.
this game week. But
It's just like if you
the
can do
form
it.
just isn't there.
I know the form isn't there, and also like if you can do it without a hit, maybe I'll be bit more tempted. But if you have to do a
Yeah.
hit as well, then I don't know if I want to do it per se.
But like you said, if it's, you're losing a Heung-min Son
Yeah, exactly.
for that
Is it
position and
worth
that
it?
budget against
Yeah,
Sheffield United, doesn't, yeah, it
yeah,
doesn't feel like it might pay off.
yep. Fair enough. All right. We did have one question from our good friend Brett,
Mhm.
FPL Shake and Bake, and basically it was who is the ultimate game week 38 gamble? I feel
Yeah,
like we listed quite a lot, but who is
we
the
did.
ultimate?
I'll go with the Dutchman, Cody Gakpo.
Ooh,
Like we said, like,
yep,
yeah, he's in really good form. He's starting up front, and yeah, that game is going to be a bit of a party
yeah,
against Wolves. Like he's so close to goals, and yeah, I think Cody Gakpo is a really good differential. So at the time of recording, it's only 2.4%
yep,
ownership in the game. Pretty easy to get to as well, 7.1 million. So it could be one of those if
yeah,
Isak's ruled out,
yeah.
or you got a Callum Wilson. It's quite an easy sideways move.
Yep, fair enough. And I'll go with Olise just because I enjoy
Yeah.
watching him. I'll put it on. I won't be shocked if he does his trademark cut inside, left foot shot, curls in towards the goal, kind of type of goal. He always does that. I won't
He
be surprised
does.
if he does it again this week. But yeah, that's my ultimate gamble for game week 38. Cool. That's it. Thank you, Pete, for your time today. Do you have anything to plug?
Yeah, I'll plug our podcast, the FPL Side Net Podcast. So myself and my co-host Andrew doing a weekly show. So we're going to be recording tomorrow morning after the conclusion of game week 37. So we find our daytime recordings are pretty crazy because
Yeah.
we're all hyped up on coffee after school drop-offs, which is a bit of fun. So yeah, we've had I think this was our fourth season doing the show. So yeah, a big thanks to everyone out there for their listen and their support. And yeah, congratulations again for another great season of Scout the Game Week and FPL Chatbox as well. You've been slaying it this season. You might actually get some sleep now during the off
Oh
season.
no, the Euros are there. But I might get actually a bit more sleep than usual. Um, but yeah, so make sure to follow Pete. His Twitter handle is also on the video for if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you've reached up to this point, do hit that like and subscribe. And you can also find me, Football Chatbox, on YouTube, where I do weekly videos and deadline streams. I'll be having a deadline stream this week, along with a watch along potentially after that for Game Week 38. And then obviously I'll be doing Euro Fantasy content. I do tend to find like tournament style fantasy a bit more interesting.
Yeah.
Just because it's like shorter and also like it's kind of more fun. There's no template, there's no EO, no all of that stuff. You just pick who you like and you go for it. I tend to do well as well for some reason. I don't know why.
No
But
stress.
yeah,
That's
no
why.
stress probably. So I enjoy playing like World Cup fantasy, Euro fantasy. I find it more enjoyable, but we'll be creating content for that as well. That's it for this week's Scout the Game Week. I would like to say I'll be back after a game week, but nope. That's it. I'll see you all next season. Have a good season. Enjoy the last game week, and I'll see you all for the start of next season. Thank you.